Just fucking do it. Subscribe now. Well, that guy that he did the 5% thing, he's done 2 or 3 others like that, where he went out just to, I don't know, a mercy fuck, as he called it, because he's heard through LinkedIn, I mean, I can't do it on a small deal. I can't do non-recourse money on a small deal. I can't do no guarantee on a small deal. So he did it just to prove a point that he could. So he's done it 2 or 3 other times to the benefit of the guys that use them, because you can do it. If you say you're not going to sign, you're not going to fucking sign. You know, and find some fucking non-recourse money, asshole. And and again, remember, last time you fought with your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whoever, treat him just like that. Shit. There's not a person that's ever been through this seminar that has had a relationship with the opposite sex or the same sex that hasn't screamed at his partner. It doesn't exist. And somehow, for the wrong reason, you stay married, you stay together, right? We can do the same thing with these fucking assholes. The directors, the bankers, the accountants. I can't remember. There was somebody in your group, now that I think about it, and maybe that girl asked at least 2 or 3 times, how many times do I keep calling when they say no? Or how soon can I call again after, the conversation ends? And I made the remark, as I normally make, if you call them at 10, you call them at 2 now. 4 hours later. Of course, that's why those guys got arrested. Carl Icahn wouldn't put up with that. But I've been calling guys like Carl Icahn all my life. And somehow I got away with it. Of course, now almost anybody will take my call. So I don't want to be disingenuous. Now, I can probably get a call off to Biden. I know for sure I can get a call off to Trump. But when I was at your stage, pardon? Okay, you can. But when I was at your stage, I just was persevering. Because remember, I've been spending not now, till I'm 60 years old. From the time I'm young till the time I'm 60, I spent between 120 and 125% of every penny I ever made. I didn't want any backups. I didn't want anything to fall back on. So I'd ease up. My pedal has been to the metal, and that's how I got suckered into sponsoring a race car team. You've run your whole life, Mr. Peña, with the pedal to the metal. We got the perfect industry for you. And I'm looking, race cars. And I fell for it. I got suckered into the Venus flytrap. Boy, did I lose a ton of money on that thing. But anyway, I just keep calling, showing up. But at some level, I never, may God as my witness, Allah, Saint Teresa, I put my money on you, bitch, when you weren't a saint. I didn't care what anybody thought of me. I've never cared. Ever. I never wanted to be liked. I always wanted to be effective. Which is in a small group. Because that's not how your religion teaches you, no matter which crazy religion you belong to or follow, or whatever the right word is. And it's certainly, I was listening to my daughter on our Zoom call for Christmas Day yesterday. She was explaining to me something that happened at the big company she works for. And Harvard man. And I said, do they still play that card? She said, oh, yeah, Daddy. I said, I'll be goddamn. In 2023, almost 2020. And is that how he starts the meetings? Well, no, he's got a big flag in his office. It's bigger than me, Daddy. It says Harvard on it. When he calls you in to rake you over the coals, and he turns around and looks at it, I guess I didn't think that worked anymore, but apparently it still does in America anyway. Yeah, you've got to. Okay, let's say the Super Bowl, American football. When there's no next game, you play like it's the last 2 minutes of your only fucking Super Bowl you're ever going to play in, or your only World Cup you're going to play in. You go balls to the wall. You're not interested in injuries because there's no next game. And look at how they score almost at will. That's how you don't have to do anything. If you want to like TK and Ellie or Jason, I mean, and he's hard on his people. He's hard. And we had another guy from Adelaide here who sat right where Malcolm X is sitting, and who uses the same team from KPMG, who's also a star, you know. But Jason was mad because once a quarter, his team, organized by KPMG, would sit down and they would divide the country out. Who have we attacked in one? Where are we going to attack this next quarter? They lining up the things for him. And he didn't like that because he's a control freak. KPMG was doing all the corporate finance work, was bullying the lawyers. And I said, that's okay, until they fail. But as long as they're successful, Jesus Christ, that's a dream. But now he's built a team around him, as he said. This is a couple years old. Because ultimately, that's what you want. You want a M&A team, and then you want an implementation execution team that goes and makes sure this shit happens. Not you, because you're off to the next deal. And I was privileged to have that. And when they start taking over some of the tasks, like he talked, when he came in private time years ago, why do I feel so spent at the end of the day? Because he was doing everything. And he wasn't leaning on his board. Now, I want you to ride these cocksuckers like a rented mule. Now, don't want some animal people get on my back, because I'm nicer to mules than I am to you. But like you're never going to see the animal again. Just like in True Grit when he rode that horse to death. And the more fees you pay these guys and gals, the more service you'll get. Now, today, if you don't have the home phone of your professional, something's wrong. Something's wrong. Back 40 years ago, they wouldn't take calls from Friday morning until Monday afternoon because they were at the weekend. They were at their place in Somerset or in Belgium or someplace, up to no good. Now, all these services are just commodities. They're just commodities. I've said this 1,000 million times. At 3 a.m. at 54th and Madison on the street corner, when there's a queue of 7, 8 girls with short dresses and it's 10 below zero. And I'm told, when you slow your limousine down and the window comes down and says, "Hey, sailor, you want to have a good time?" You either say yes or no. I'm told. They're there on the corner for a reason. Now they tell me there's guys on corners. I've never been down those streets. I don't know where those streets are. I'm going to set, Slum Landlord down to check it out for me. Comments about Jason? Put your phone down, Malcolm X. This isn't phone time. Comments or questions about, I almost said Malcolm X. Comments or questions about Jason?
The 40/60.
Now, this is where you live, right? You know where Adelaide is, right? It's a shithole, okay?
Very small.
Okay, yeah, okay, go ahead.
He mentioned something 60/40, and 40 he remained with the doctor because the doctor has to stay there.
A vested interest in doing good because he's still there.
Yeah, to create revenue. So that 40% he mentioned that he will roll it up when he exit in the head group. Is it what?
Well, when he exits, they either stay in until exit or he has a buyout.
Options.
Yeah.
Okay. Second question is...
Has anybody asked her why she does this yet? I'd asked her. I know why. When you go to parochial school, you got to raise your little hand. I can just see her when she was 2 feet tall instead of 3 feet tall like she is now. I showed her my scar tissue on my knuckles. We're getting beaten. Okay, go ahead.
The acquisition team that he had,
correct,
that does the DD, is he recruits someone full-time in his
correct
company, does it?
No part-time Chinese food deal. I mean, it's full-time. full time. And of course, they get part of the profits and the bonuses. They're part of the solution. And then if they're not part of the solution, in other words, if they don't perform, they're out. And anybody, I told you before, any people that are in sales mode that aren't willing to work for 100% commission, no guarantee, is worthless. And you will eliminate, you put an ad, now you can't put ads like this in Wall Street Journal anymore, but I used to put a little 2-inch ad, commission only, 7-figure, not guaranteed, but could be. Back in the day. And boy, I got some high-powered sons of bitches. Yeah.
He mentioned something about organic growth, but
He said organic growth is for the birds. He said organic growth is too risky. What he didn't add on is for losers. Buying income, buying revenue, therefore buying income and EBITDA, etc., is where it is. There's. But he said your plan will change 20. Just write down something. It doesn't matter what you write down. Did you hear that? It doesn't matter what you write down. I'm sure 2 or 3 of you here spent not years, months working on your making up a reason why you have a unique selling proposition. Nobody in this fucking room, your deal is the closest to a unique selling proposition. And yours. Okay. No, the worldwide horseshit, when you're going to be a mini evangelist, going around the world. Okay. But all the rest, there's nothing unique about what you do. So your business plan, your mission statement, just copy it from fucking Wikipedia. It doesn't matter what it says. He says it's going to change at least 20 times. Very few people that I've ever met, actually, are doing something original. Original meaning for the first time. They're just, now I can't speak for artificial intelligence because that's not my forte or my realm. But we have people that say categorically, my unique selling proposition is this because my robot can do this and okay. But other than that, and I would not advise in any way, shape, manner, or form. You try to roll those up. First of all, they're 50, 80, 90 times EBITDA. And they don't always work. This, I told you, Andreas, TK. And there's things in between, like Jason. But you got to pull the trigger. Did I answer your question about?
Yeah, I just couldn't understand his accent.
Well, he down there, his accent doesn't bother anybody because they all talk like that. And one of my heydays, which people from Adelaide hate to hear, I'm on my way to Darwin to hunt with Crocodile Dundee, the real Crocodile Dundee, before the movie came out, but the movie was about. And we stopped in Adelaide. Something wrong with the plane. We were flying from Sydney. And from Sydney to Darwin is thousands of miles of red dirt, sand basically you go over. And so we stopped in Adelaide on the weekend where teenagers, hooligans, broke into the Adelaide Zoo and raped and killed animals. They were raping the giraffes by putting ladders up their backside. And they were taking birds and having sex with them, splitting them open. So then about 5 years ago, it happened again. I go, Jesus Christ, what kind of town is this? So when I first met him, Jason, he said, we're at the rougher end of the Australian society. Actually, there's no society there, but at the rough end. But I mean, he's doing it in the middle of no place. And then we got, junior James Bond Zane. I knew you were coming up. I was going to tell everybody, pay real close attention about 22 minutes into this deal so you can see your idiot colleague. But I didn't do that. I just waited. You're sitting in the same seat, I think. And when you were talking to him? No, you were, no. Okay, yes.
You said that to warm up the bank for non-recourse money, you asked.
No, you won't. No, you're warming up the bank as a give or a throwaway. By the way, what non-recourse funds you have available today.
Yeah, I was going to ask, are there any other lines that you throw in, or?
Well, it depends what the mooch. If he's not sweating, remember. By the way, are you? I see you were in the Wall Street Journal. You participated in the $13 billion deal on Friday. I assume on Monday you're still in the lending business for healthcare. Are there any special verticals that are your sweet spot? Okay, and they say, yeah, okay. It's home health, yes. Lending parameters, and they won't want to give you. They're going to say, "Send me a business plan." Now, I've told you all the ways to get over that. Well, I think that's premature. We have no chemistry. I used to say when I was young, I might not want to fuck you. You know what? You want me to take my shorts down. Now, I'm not suggesting you do that, but that's what I used to say. Oh, well, okay. And they want to get you in for an appointment. He's a business development guy or gal on the phone. And he has a script or she has a script, just like Jason just said. His job is to get your ass in there, hopefully with a business plan before. You're not going to do that. All you want him to say is, yes, yes, yes. Still, from Friday to Monday, they're still going to be in lending room for healthcare. Yes, one of the verticals is home health, assisted living home health. And 3, well, just roughly speaking, what are the lending parameters? And they'll say 3 to 6, 3 to 5, our sweet spot. By the way, your sweet spot, 4. That's it. Go fuck yourself. Go drown your mother. Suck my dick. Conversation over. That's it. That's warming it up.
I understand that, but that's about other lines that you use.
No, well, it depends on what they say. Okay? There's a plethora of bullshit that I have, as you already know that. But I might have a business plan in my pocket. Not a business plan, a deal in my pocket. Because I always had 3, 4, 5, 10 deals. Occasionally, because I used to drink a lot, occasionally, when I'd have the resignation letters and I'd be going to the board meeting, I'd pull the wrong fucking envelope out. And, more or less back in the 80s, I was legendary for that. And that's what they say. If you want a red light, it was really. If you want a comedy deal, Dan will stand under a comedy light. If you want a Chinese deal, he'll stand under a yellow light. I mean, they're racist as shit. But I always had a deal. It's like I was like the guy that had 40 watches on his thing. You're walking down Fifth Avenue. Hey, sir. You with the bald black head. Rolex, that was me for deals. Goodbye, YouTube.